Why did the Yankees make this move? Last night watching the game, I was a little puzzled. I was kind of pissed that they made this move because even at the time, it did not make sense. And we're going to go over that in just a few moments. We're going to go over what the heck I'm talking about in just a few moments. But before I do, if you love the Yankees and you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road here to 23,000 subscribers. So if you can help us get there, that would be an absolute blessing. So the move I'm talking about is the Yankees yanking Cam Schlittler out after the fifth inning. The kid gave up 2 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 6, had a nice outing. And I'm not even that mad about them yanking him, because if they felt that was what they had to do and they didn't want him to go further, which I would have had him go further. He was at 86 pitches at the time. Why didn't you let him pitch a little more? But at least go that 6th inning. They brought in Yuri De Los Santos. Now, Yuri before last night was having a really, really good season, but he was the Yankees' low leverage guy. He's not a high stakes reliever. Hasn't been basically the entire season. He just had some high leverage opportunities here and there, but he was mainly a low leverage guy, and it worked for him. He was pitching pretty good this year. So last night, in a high leverage spot, the game was tied. The Yankees, that was the night to capitalize on gaining ground in the division in the wild card, because Blue Jays lost. The Guardians lost. That was time to gain some ground on your wild card opponents and your divisional opponents. Well, they bring in Yuri, a guy who doesn't pitch high leverage ever. He gives up 3 runs. And then you ended up going to Mark Leiter Jr. anyway. You went to him, then Devin Williams. Game was already 4-1 at that point by the time you go to Leiter. But Leiter pitched an inning, Devin pitched an inning, Duvall pitched, and Hedrick pitched. If you wanted to try somebody else in a high leverage spot, put Duvall in there. He's very much experienced in high leverage innings. Put him in there. Right? I know up to that point, his Yankee numbers aren't flattering, but at the same time, the guy was the closer for the Giants. He was very familiar with high-stakes innings. He was the guy to put in there if you didn't want to put, let's say, Tim Hill, Luke Weaver. He was the guy, because you put him in there anyway later on in the game. And that was the wrong move. It was. It was a head-scratcher, honestly. Because if Duvall comes in there in the 6th and he closes the door like he did last night, well, you give your offense the opportunity. And listen, the Yankees didn't score runs either. They didn't. But at the same time, when it comes to an important game like last night, it would have been nice if they swept them. It would have been nice if they won so they could gain ground. When you're playing an important game like last night, what do you think is going to happen in the postseason if they make it? What do you think is going to happen in the playoffs in a high stakes inning? Is Boone just going to bring in the lesser guy because he wants to rest other guys because he's managing for the future? Now, I don't know if you heard what Clint Frazier said on his podcast, and my gosh, it made me grind my teeth. Basically saying if you want Aaron Boone to go, so many other people have to go. And Aaron Boone fills out his lineup and a bunch of other guys fill out their lineups, and then you go with the best one, basically. I think that's a terrible, terrible, terrible way to run your team. Maybe that's what they're doing in baseball, right? But I mean, hey, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and that's why you have all these changes every damn day. That's why. That's why you're the Yankees. You had a 7-game lead in your division. And I knew it, damn it. I knew it when they were going to hit that rough part of the schedule and end of June. And they weren't playing good baseball as it was at that point. But as soon as you hit that Blue Jays series, I knew that by the way they were playing, that they were going to lose all that ground. And guess what? They did. They lost so much ground. So much. One of the worst teams in the American League since June 13th. I've had enough of it. I've had enough. Do you know what? Do you know what? We all crap on Aaron Boone all the time. What if we just let him be? Instead of having to get his lineup approved by freaking, Joe Schmo, the captain of the analytics department. If instead of getting it approved by him, why can't Booney roll out the lineup he sees fit? Let him do his damn job what he was hired to do. Pisses me off. So guess what? Guarantee you, the freaking brains in the dugout. Oh, listen, Boone, this is what you have to do. If it's a tie game in the 6th inning, try Yuri out. That's not the time to do it. It's not the time to try somebody out in a new spot that they don't have experience in. That's not the time. It's freaking unreal when you're trying to go up in the standings because you fell so far back. It's not the time to experiment. That's not it. It's not it. And the guy gives up 3 runs. You experimented at the wrong time. You had other options, clearly. You had other options. You could have went Duvall. You could have even went lighter. I would have rather lighter lose in that spot. He's pitched in more high leverage innings than Yuri De Los Santos. It's pathetic. I'm not even blaming Boone at this point because we've known this for a while. But it's confirmation that we're getting. This confirmation that, quite frankly, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So what? On paper, Yuri might do well in this spot, blah, 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 blah. And then Boone still goes with it. Boone, you don't have to do everything they say. But maybe that's why he's still here, because he's so easy to freaking work with. And that might be it. That might be it. But what happens in a playoff game? What happens there? Right? It's pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. And I know it's only one game of the season, and I know they won the series, but that was an opportunity not to only gain ground, but to show us that you're a competent organization, that you know who to throw in a game that you kind of should win because you gained ground in the standings. That's why it was so important. And they didn't treat it like a must win by throwing Yuri out. And Yuri has been pitching well. Hats off to him. So happy for him that he's pitching so well. But at the same time, those are in low leverage innings. Last night was not the time to test it out if he could pitch in a high leverage situation. That wasn't the time. That wasn't it. You throw Yuri in after Leiter surrenders 3 runs. That's what you do. You don't throw Yuri in a tie game and expect him to get out of it when you have to win. You had to win last night to gain ground. It's unfriggin' believable, and I hate coming off whiny. I really do. I hate coming off that way. And honestly, I'm not even blaming Boone at this point because he's got to answer to a bunch of schmucks who never played a damn game in their life at the major league level. Needs to listen to them. It's unfriggin', and listen, I'm not saying, Boone gets off scot-free here because he still has to make the decision, but at the same time, you're not going to win a playoff game that way. You're just not.